So today, the 5th of May 2011, the Kamsky Topalov match started with the move e2 to e4. And as expected, it was quite a fight. Topalov answered with c5. My name is GM Danielsen and I'm a grandmaster from Iceland. This video is captured for chessdom.com. And we continued with the open Sicilian, and it happened to be the Najdorf system here with a6. Now Kamsky played a4. a4 is not the most theoretical move. Actually, I don't know that move that much, except that we can come into some well-known lines if people continue with normal moves, but not so. Kamsky, he went for the fight with a5. You might expect that knight c6 is preventing a5. And here Topalov, he didn't take the pawn, he played just e6. So why didn't he take the pawn? I mean, if he take the pawn, I must admit that this is the first time I see this position, so I don't know any theory here. But I believe that white cannot just play very simple moves like bishop e2 and castle short, because then he's a pawn down. So he has to play very active, and one active way is, for example, knight d5. And if now black captures the pawn on e4, then it's pawn number 2, but then I think he is in great trouble after bishop b5 check. If now a captures b5, then we have knight captures b5, and knight c7 is coming up and everything. This is not a position you want to enter. And of course, after bishop b5, bishop d7 is plain lost, because you give a check now, forcing the king out, and then we have queen g4. Of course, black gets the knight back on d5, but after queen f5 check and capture on d5, then this position is lost for black. So after knight d5, if black captures on d5 instead, then of course we have to capture back on d5, and then the knight on a5 is bad placed, so it's obvious that white has a good position. And after knight d5, if you can't capture on e4 or d5, then you can try e6. And then I was thinking, does white has compensation here? After knight captures f6, black is forced to capture back with his g-pawn, and then of course his pawn structure is quite weak. I mean, there is no punch in it, there is no d5 or f5 coming up. And after bishop d2, forcing the knight back, then white can continue with grabbing the initiative with queen f3. Often moves like e5 is in the air, c6 is then also, threatened. And then rook b8, for example, we have bishop a5 coming up, attacking the queen. The queen has to move, and then back with the bishop on c3, attacking f6 and attacking a6. I think white has a good position after g captures f6, because he gets a very fast development with bishop d2, capturing on c6 and then queen f3. I think there are full compensation, and it could be ending up with black having problems in a position like this, especially if he's unprepared. But quite interestingly, then Topalov, he did not enter this. So and then after knight captures c6 and b captures c6, what is white's plan then with playing a5? Why play a5 here? Of course, he is not playing for an attack on the king side. You don't play a4 and a5 to attack on the king side later. No, you try to get the better ending or better pawn structure. And this is what he's trying for now, castling short. And I think that he actually succeeded. I prefer white in the game that comes up here. All this is normal moves, and then he play e5. And let's just say, for example, Topalov just capture now on e5, and then after bishop captures e5 and f3, then white has the better pawn structure. The a6 pawn is very weak, the c5 pawn is weak. So this is a position that is difficult for black. And this is of course what he was playing for. So after e5, Topalov didn't go in for this. He played queen c6, attacking g2, forcing f3, and then he played knight h5. Bishop have to go back to d2. And now he played dynamically again. He don't like, stiff structures like d5, because after b3 you don't have d4 really. This is just weakening black's structure, and c4 is impossible. So white is again here better. The knight on h5 is bad placed, and after moves like knight a4, maybe even queen f2, knight b6, and queen f2, I prefer white here definitely.